Hey, what's up everybody? So I just replaced the brake master cylinder booster assembly on my 1999 GS400. I bought a 2002 SC430 brake booster. They're supposed to be a little bit more robust, reliable. So I went ahead and got one of those. It was only like $400 from a salvage yard with a 90-day warranty. So that was a good deal, I thought. Anyways, so I just wanted to highlight some of the install points because I went into this not knowing exactly what to expect, and I got it running again, and it seems to be working great. So definitely better than before. What was happening before was everything was working except for the accumulator, which is a big problem on these. That I guess nitrogen it holds or something like that. But anyways, it gets low is what happens. The nitrogen escapes, and after a while you'll get this squeaking noise that sounds like it's coming from under the dash, and that's the accumulator can pumping back up. So it goes like you go down the street, you hit the brakes a couple times, and it has to pump back up because the accumulator, it's almost empty is what the problem is. So anyways, it's really easy. They made it easy to pull out pretty much. This first line here goes to your brake. It goes to your passenger front caliper here. So you're supposed to remove it from the caliper, and that'll allow you, and then you're supposed to remove it here, that way you can get it completely out of the way. But I was able to just remove it here and kind of just slightly bend it out of the way, so just be careful, don't kink it. These other lines, 1, 2, 3, I just moved them all over I took them out of the bracket back here, moved them all over this hose here, the fuel hose, and just kind of zip tied them out of the way. And then I had a friend help me hold this brake booster when I undid the 4 bolts on the firewall in the back, and then kind of it just somewhat squeezes kind of right out of that area. Anyways, when you go back in with it, you have no fluid in it, so you want to fill it up and it'll go down. I used the entire bottle, a liter, or I'm sorry, US quart of fluid just about to do this. So yeah, you fill it up mostly, but don't fill it up all the way, because what happens is it sucks it down. So what you want to do, according to the book, this is the factory manual, but you know, it's the best shit ever. Anyways, you want to, once you get all the lines tight, somewhat tight, don't over tighten them, hit the brakes. You know, you want to check to make sure that you don't have any leaks, and you can just tweak them a little bit tighter and then get rid of that leak. Anyways, once you're there, you put some fluid in the brake master. You want to turn this one so it's off, no key basically. Hit the pedal 40 times, and then you put the key in and turn it to on. And what'll happen is that motor in the bottom of the brake booster motor, in the bottom of the deal here, you can't see, will pump up the accumulator, and I guess it bleeds it or some crap, but it'll make all these noises, and it should go away if everything's cool. Like mine went away in like 20 seconds. It says give it 30-40, but mine would go away in 20. So what I would do is, what I ended up doing was I did that several, like 2, 3, 4 times during the whole process, actually. So I did that. You can see it sucking down the fluid here as it's going through its cycles. And the way you check the fluid in these is different from any other car. You have to just pump the pedal with the key off 50 times or more, and then come out and check it. So you don't want to overfill this. If you overfill this, what happens is as you're pumping up the brakes, it'll shoot out of this can and it'll get everywhere. So what I suggest is getting rags and put a bunch of shitload of rags down at the bottom of the brake booster here to catch anything that leaks, because it's hard to clean all the area. I learned the hard way and had to use a entire can of brake cleaner and just spray down in there and clean everything up. Anyways, so do that, put a bunch of rags down here. I use the blue Scott rags. And anyways, let's see. Okay, so once you do that and the pump stops, you're good. You want to leave the ignition on, and then you pump the key or you leave the key on and you hit the brake pedal more than 20 times, and you'll get a buzzer and some lights on the cluster, and it'll go through another test. I don't know what it's doing. That's just what the book says. So you let it do that, and then it stops, and you're cool. Make sure you don't have any leaks. Again, you want to make sure all the leaks here are gone before you bleed the calipers. So I actually had to tighten this line up here, one of the lines a little bit more, and actually these two just a little bit more, and tweak them so I didn't get any leaks. So anyways, you want to check you want to check underneath the deal, like really carefully underneath the Brake Master unit, like run your fingers over it and make sure there's no fluid, because when you get fluid comes out of this top deal, when you overfill it, it kind of just gets everywhere. So you want to make sure that you don't have a leak. Like I actually got a little bit on my finger there, but I think it's residual from leaking from here down past, you know, just everywhere. But I tried to clean it as best I could. It doesn't seem to really be leaking that I can tell. You know, I think I'm good for the most part. I mean, I'm gonna street drive it and see what happens and check for leaks again. That's the main thing I'm worried about, is leaks, because the brakes right now are fine. I just want to make sure it doesn't have any slow leaks. Okay, so after you run it through these 2 cycles where you're pumping the brakes a lot, you don't have any leaks, then what you can do is you bleed the passenger front and you bleed the driver front the traditional way of pumping the brake pedal and cracking the bleeder. And what I observed in this car is that we were only able to do that a few times before the brake pedal got so hard that we couldn't even do the driver's side. It was just rock hard. So really, I guess it didn't need it. I actually turned the car on after that, and the brakes felt perfect. So like I didn't even need to do the back ones, but I went ahead and did the back ones, and the back ones are different on this car. You start at the passenger rear. All you have to do is just push the brake pedal down once, and you hold it depressed, and then you just crack the bleeder, and it'll just keep pushing fluid out, and that won't be much. It'll just trickle fluid out, and just on both sides you want to do that. And lock it up, turn the key on, turn the car on, get a vacuum, and feel the brakes, and they should be nice and tight, and they should be making any noises. Like mine's not making any noises when I hit the brake. You know, the main thing is when you're working about brakes is, you know, if you're going to do all this, take full responsibility for yourself and what you do. And the most dangerous thing about brakes is having leaks in the lines, so where that, you know, you overlook a brake leak and you hit the brakes, you know, when you need them, and all of a sudden you don't have pressure because you're pushing past all the fluid is just leaking out, and you know that's the scariest thing about brakes, is losing pressure. So you want to make sure there's no leaks in any of the lines, and you may drive around the neighborhood slow and just a few times really slow and kind of just do some hard stops, and then get out and check all these connections at the booster again. Check underneath the booster and feel around to make sure there's no like new leaks coming anywhere, because this booster can actually leak in multiple different spots other than the lines. It can leak. There's the booster on the motor. You can get fluid like in that motor if it's really jacked up. You can get, you know, fluid is completely in this module, the brake module that's attached to this deal, that's on most cars, is like over here onto the side with lines coming to it or whatever. They put it right here, so it's got fluid in it. So you want to just make sure no leaks. You know, again, if you're going to do this, you can take responsibility for yourself. I'm just giving you pointers, but I'm not telling you go do it yourself, because, you know, Lexus charges good money to do this kind of work. So anyways, the other thing is on the, when you can, this is a new Brake Master 2002 on a 99, and all I did is swap this front sensor here, the fluid sensor. Used a 30mm deep well socket and a breaker bar. I actually had to put the Brake Master bolted to the firewall to break it loose because it's really tight, and swap that out. A little bit of fluid will come out when you remove that, but not much. So that allows you to put the booster into the newer booster into the older car. And so everything seems to be good right now. I'm going to test it, street test it, and hopefully no leaks, and we're going to go from there. And anyways, I hope this helped. There's a lot of info real quick, but I'm in a hurry to get somewhere. So, you know, I figure a video with some information is better than, you know, just going into something completely blind like I kind of had to do and just figure out the steps using this book. And then you kind of have to step back through a couple of the steps to make sure you're not leaking and etc. So anyways, good luck and have fun. Bye.